This is it, what? Cohiba lit, what? We got that yak up in the cup and getting bent, what? Put some smoke in the air, this your shit, what? And raise your glasses if everything classic. This is it, what? That Chiba lit, what? You got some drink up in your cup and getting bent, what? So put some smoke in the air, this your shit, what? And raise your glasses if everything classic. Stogie light in it.
You are tuned in to G5 Jeff TV. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the share button as you come on in. Before we get started, definitely follow me on all social media platforms. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, everything is G5 Jeff TV. We got a lot of content going down on the social media channels that don't make YouTube, so it's very important that you guys are following me on those platforms. Danny Garcia said that he's headed to 154 pounds. That is junior middleweight. And I forgot who he was doing the interview with. It was like a live on Instagram. And I do apologize that I don't have a name to get them the proper credit. But big shout out to them that did the interview with Danny Garcia. But he said he wanted to go to 154. And he felt like he did everything that he could do at 147. Now, my thoughts on that, couple of different things. As far as 147, yes, I do feel like he did everything that he could do at 147. He fought Sean Porter, close decision loss. You could make the argument that Danny won that fight. To be honest, I've never seen a Sean Porter fight where a guy was landing that many clean bombs. And Danny Garcia was definitely doing that. So it was basically the clean shots of Danny Garcia versus the consistent work of Sean Porter. And Sean Porter wasn't landing that many big shots. So it really depended on what you like in terms of that particular scoring of that fight. You had the Errol Spence fight. Errol Spence, it was a perfect opportunity for Danny Garcia. That was his first fight from the car accident. We didn't know what we was going to see in Errol Spence, but Errol Spence looked like typical Errol Spence. Danny couldn't get past the jab, and that was pretty much it. Like, the jab gave him all the problems, and he really couldn't do anything with Spence. I gave Danny like 2 rounds, like 2-3 rounds tops, but he lost 9-3, 10-2. Keith Thurman, he fought Keith Thurman. That was for a belt, and he lost that fight, and I felt like he lost that fight like 8-4. So he fought all the top guys, and then pretty much after that, Danny Garcia's name is too big to fight any of the lower tier guys. So anybody that's saying, oh, well, he should have fought Ugas, he should have fought Virgil Ortiz, he should have fought Boots Ennis, like, you don't understand the landscape of what's going on. Like, either Danny Garcia was going to get the top names, or he just wasn't going to fight. You know what I'm saying? Or even if he did fight, he would fight just a name that he knew he could beat. Adrian Granados and, guys like that. And no disrespect to them, but it's just different levels to it. You understand what I'm saying? So, in theory, unless Danny was going to get a rematch with Spence, which nobody wants to watch, a rematch with Thurman, which nobody's asking for, a rematch with Porter, which would be a good fight, but nobody's asking for. He's not getting a Manny Pacquiao fight. He's not getting a Mikey Garcia fight. He's not getting a Jesse Vargas fight. None of the other big names at 147. Then, yeah, essentially, he's done everything that he could do at 147. So him making the 154 jump is a good jump, and it's an interesting jump strictly because he instantly becomes the second biggest name at 154 pounds. Outside of Jermell, Charlo, like, Danny Garcia will be A-side against anybody else at 154 pounds. So the fact that Danny Garcia will be able to have leverage over those other 154-pound guys will be good for him, because he'll be able to get to a bag. He'll be able to get to a bag of money in a new division. It's new faces, new names. He can kind of rebrand himself at 154 pounds. And I'm definitely looking forward to it. Now, some of the guys that he could fight at 154 pounds, Danny Garcia, Terrell Gausha, that's a good fight. I know, I would say Liam Smith, that's a good fight at 154 pounds. I would also go with like a guy like a Tony Harrison. Like that's a good fight as well for Danny Garcia. But it's going to be interesting to see what Danny does at 154, because I think the formula is still going to be the same. It's either he's going to fight the big names or he's going to fight guys that he know that he can beat. But I feel like going from 147 to 154, he needs to have a fight to test the waters. Anybody that's been listening to me on this channel, y'all know when a guy is moving up in weight, he goes to a weight class above. I'm a big believer in that guy taking a fight to test the waters and see how he does at the weight. Basically a tune-up fight at the weight. But for Danny, like there's really not too many tune-ups at 154. So a guy that's not a big time guy at 154, but just a middle of the pack guy, that's why I said Terrell Gausha will be a good fight. And there's no disrespect to Terrell Gausha. Like, yes, he's a middle of the pack guy. You compare him to the rest of the guys at 154, like Terrell Gausha is a middle of the pack guy. And he would have a shot against Danny. I think Terrell Gausha would be a good fight. Liam Smith would be a good fight for Danny Garcia. Tony Harrison would be a good fight. So, and there's some other names that Danny could fight, but it just depends on what kind of splash Danny Garcia wants to make. Like, does he want to go right in the lion's cage and really go after like a Jared Swift Hurd, possibly a Jermell, Charlo, something like that? Does he want to do that, or does he want to scale it back a little bit and see how he does at the weight before he takes on a guy like Jermell or a guy like Jared Swift Hurd, or Castano is probably out of the picture because of the the promotional thing and all of that. But it's a lot of action for him at 154. It's just a matter of what he wants to do. But no matter who he fights outside of Jermell Charlo, Danny Garcia would be the A side in terms of name. He would definitely be the A side. But I think it's about time for Danny Garcia to move up to 154. And to be honest with you, he's not the only one at 147 that I was like they should go up to 154. I think Sean Porter needs to go up to 154. I think he needs new faces, new names. He needs to rebrand himself, because he's starting to get to the point of where people are just looking at him as kind of like he's like a high price, like he's just the high price guy to get for the guy that you think is a star or a superstar. Like, and I think Sean Porter is better than that. So I would love to see Sean Porter go up to 154 as well. But I'm definitely gonna keep my ear to the street on this one. Danny from the city. I'm from Philly as well, so of course we support Philly through and through. And I definitely support this move to 154 pounds. I think it's time, and I think he can really get a really good 4-5 fight streak going on at 154 pounds with competitive fights, and it's good money for him as well. But y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section. G5 Jeff TV, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Please share this video, support your boy, support good content at all times. I appreciate y'all. Peace.